Hi, welcome back to this month's video. I'm Heather.
Hi Mark.
What are we going to talk about this month, Mark?
We're going to talk about my driving test that I finally got, and so yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, there's a driving assessment they wanted
Oh,
to call
driving
it,
assessment.
didn't they?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
They're quite insistent it's not a driving test.
Yeah, it's true.
Calling it a driving assessment. So let's start with, why did you have to have a driving assessment?
Because of my diagnosis of dementia, I'm required to do that.
Yeah. When if you're not in the UK, it might be different in your country, but here in the UK, if you have a diagnosis of dementia, you're required by law to tell the DVLA, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority. So when we got Mark's dementia diagnosis, we sent off and told them that. Little bit of to-ing and fro-ing with correspondence.
It took a year.
Yeah.
Until I got the okay to try the test.
Yeah, there's a bit of back and forward and a long backlog at the moment. Then they wrote to your doctor and we filled in forms. Yeah. And they asked if you wanted to give up your licence voluntarily.
Yeah.
And instead you opted to have a driving assessment. So eventually we got the appointment through, and we went off the week before last to the other side of the city. And you had your driving assessment.
I did, yes, and it's sort of in two sort of two sections, if you like. The first was to have a chat with the two people who were doing the assessment, and then we went out on the road.
Yeah. Shall we talk through exactly what happened from the point that we went to the centre? Because I don't know what you thought, Mark, but we didn't have a lot of idea what to expect beforehand.
None whatsoever.
We had a leaflet, didn't we, that came with the appointment.
Yeah.
It was packed full of information, but didn't address all of the questions we'd have liked to know. So I thought it might be helpful to tell you what our experience was. Obviously, if you're in a different part of the country from us, there might be slight variations in this, but we'll tell you what happened in Mark's case and just give you a bit of a background. So we set off bright and early and arrived at the centre. In good time. And they were very nice.
Very, very pleasant indeed, yes.
Gave me a cup of coffee, which I needed at that point in the day.
Yeah. First thing, well, they were chatting to us really, weren't they? Just to explain us what was going to happen. Yeah,
well, the first thing, actually, you had to go and do an eye test outside.
That's right, yeah.
When you do an actual driving test in the UK, you have to prove that you can...
your eyesight is fine.
Your eyesight's okay to drive. So you go and read a car number plate. I think it's 20 metres away.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you have this driving assessment, you also have to go and do that first to prove that you're safe to get in a car. So you did that.
I did. Well, they had a bit of a problem, didn't it, at first? Because
you couldn't read it at first.
I couldn't read it, no, but it was too far away anyway.
It turns out they went and measured it. It turned out it was too far away.
So we did. Oh, that was a good start.
Yeah, but they were lovely and really helpful.
No problem at all.
No problem, and took us into an appointment room. Oh, well, we should probably mention who the people were.
Yeah.
So one person was an occupational therapist, an OT as we sometimes abbreviate it, and the other person was a driving assessor. He was a trained driving instructor and then specially trained as a medical driving assessor.
Yes, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So we went and had a chat with them, and I came with you.
You did.
They were happy for me to do that, as long as you didn't mind.
No, I didn't. I didn't mind at all.
They just wanted a bit of background information on
how things were, I suppose, really.
How things were.
Yeah.
How you'd come to have a diagnosis of dementia. And you had the chance to talk about your concerns and the fact that it had been a year since you'd driven. You were a bit worried about that.
Yeah, I was thinking, that's a long time in a way. But anyway, yes, we well, as I say, we then they took me on the road. Do you think before that?
No, before that you then had to do a few physical tests
That's
to
right,
start off with.
Yeah.
And these were really things just to test your mobility, because obviously driving assessments aren't just for people living with dementia, they're also for people who have reduced mobility,
that's right.
who need adapted cars. So they were checking your range of movement in your arms and your legs,
how strong they were, and things like that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, you were all right on that one.
I was fine on that one. Yeah. No, there was an issue because I'm left-handed, and things.
That's come up previously in these videos.
They do. So yes, we did that.
And then I went back to the waiting room just to leave you in peace, and you had to do some cognitive tests.
I did, yes.
I don't know what they were like because I wasn't there.
No. I think it was only the woman in there, if I recall.
Yeah, the occupational therapist.
Yeah.
I think they were quite similar to the kind of things you did at the memory clinic.
Yes, yeah. They were indeed, yeah. But I had to do angles and all this sort of stuff, which I don't do angles.
Yeah, tests on paper with shapes.
Who wants it? So anyway, that's what we did.
And I could have stayed in the room, just to say I could have stayed in the room as well, but I didn't. I went back to the waiting room while you got on with that to give you a bit of quiet to do that. And then you all came out and you went out on your practical test.
I did, yes.
And one of the things that we weren't sure how it would work, obviously it's a different car. You don't go in your own car, and the reason for that, one of the reasons, is that there would be insurance issues if you were going out on the road in your own car. So you go in a driving assessment car, and these are dual control cars. So you can choose whether you have a manual or an automatic. We've always driven manuals, so obviously that was a manual. You tell them what car you've got, and they do try and find you a car as similar as possible.
You certainly did in my case.
If they can, I think they will. And it was dual controls, as I said, which is the same as when you're having driving lessons, when you learn to drive, so that the instructor can slam the brakes on if necessary. And you did have the chance to sit in the car and get used to it, didn't you?
Yeah, it was very good on that, I think.
And ask questions.
Yes, again, not having driven for a year, I find that very useful.
And it's interesting to mention that, because we hadn't realised that would be the case, and that's good. And I was speaking to some other people waiting for assessments in the waiting room, and they were worried about driving cars that were different from their own. So just to say that you will be given enough time to get used to the car and ask any questions about the car, and have a little drive around probably. I mean, where we were doing this, it's in a hospital, and so you got to drive around the grounds a bit before you went on the road.
Yeah, just to get a feel for it, really.
And then if I understood what they were saying, they then said, "Are you ready to go and start the assessment?" Yeah. And you went out on the roads then? I
went out on the roads, and interestingly, when I got back in a car again, it was surprised me anyway, how quickly I got back into it. And I just felt like, oh yeah, I remember this. So that bit of the brain was working, I think, all right. And then I had to go through a test, basically. And so I've been told, go here, go there, and things like that. I had to do the emergency stop and things, and it's, as I said, a driving test.
I mean, they tell you it's an assessment, and they say, they're not marking you on bad driving habits or anything. Making sure you're safe on the road is the key. But it sounds as if it was very familiar kind of things.
I thought that was good. And then I drove back, and we then had the debrief.
And you came in the waiting room and you said, I was all right on that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I thought, that was good.
Yeah. So then they called us back into the office, and we went in there.
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I said, I thought that was really good.
They asked you how they thought. They thought it went.
They thought, that's that was really good. And they both said, really? And I thought, yeah. And they said, no, it wasn't. And the reason was, should I tell you?
Yeah,
the reason,
if you want to,
the reason was that, yes, my driving is very good, or is very good. The downside is that because of my dementia, my sort of peripheral vision and things like that are skewed. And so, therefore, I was getting too close to various cars and other things. And I was, what's the word? I just had the word, a danger to other people, I would say.
The roads.
Yeah, and so they said then, yes, that's what we saw. And I said, oh, okay. And I just said, fair enough. And, I wasn't, I'm not that type of person who's thinking, oh my God, this is going to be awful for me now because I can't drive. Luckily, because I got Heather and lots of friends who will drive me around, and my daughter. So they're all there for me. But it's just, I just okay, it is what it is. Nobody, is crying about it. For me anyway. I mean, other people might be, and I'm not belittling any of these people for that. But in my case, it's just what it is, and get on with life.
Yeah, I mean, basically the things they said was, as you said, you were a little bit close to parked cars on certain occasions. Your spatial awareness wasn't quite as it should be. And the processing speed, like at junctions, they felt that you weren't quite processing quickly there. And how it works, just to let you know, in the UK, is that they then make a recommendation as assessors. They don't make the decision as to whether your licence is revoked, but that obviously is what will happen. They make recommendations to the DVLA, the body that's in charge, and that'll be that for you driving. Oh dear. So I mean, we're fortunate. We live in a city.
Yeah.
We choose to live in a city for this reason. We can walk most places we need to. We do have a car, and I drive, and we've got good people around us if you need lifts. And although the public transport isn't perfect here, and you can watch our video from a few months ago about experiences on the buses. We do have public transport, and if we were in a position that we lived in a small village with no public transport, it would be a different matter. So that was how it went, wasn't it?
And after that we went up to Garth Mountain and walked up there. It was lovely.
We went out. After that we decided, since we were out already, we'd go out for a walk. Me driving.
Yes.
And we went up to the mountains. And nice. Had a nice walk. Bit drizzly in the rain.
Then we
I'll have to put a little photo in here of us in the rain on the mountain. And then what we did?
We went to a garden centre and had cake, which is always useful.
Tea and cake in the garden centre.
Awful news like that. It's always good to have cake.
So there you go. That was the story of Mark's driving assessment. I hope you found that useful. If you've had to do something similar, or if you've a totally different system where you come from, then please let us know in the comments below.
Interesting to know.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to know how different places deal with these things. And if you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the box below, and we'll do our best to answer.
We will.
And I suppose, just in terms of the general process, I suppose before we go, the one thing we would have benefited from would have been more information before we went.
Definitely, because you just rock up and you just sit there for a bit and then you go through the process. But it would have been better if we had more information, I think. Yeah,
we did have some, as we said in the leaflet, but there were people that I was chatting to in the waiting room while Mark was out doing his test who were also waiting for assessments, and all of them were worried about stuff. Now, you're always going to be worried about doing something like this out of the ordinary. But some of those concerns could have been addressed in more information beforehand.
Yeah.
So
not knowing what you're coming into is not good.
And not knowing how they're going to find you a car and what the car's going to be like, and a little bit more information about
the process.
The way that is done.
Yeah.
The people were lovely, weren't they?
Oh, they're great, absolutely. I think they were rooting for me basically. They really were. But I'm glad they did that. They decided, you're not able to drive. You're not
safe on the roads,
and that's fine.
That's the most important thing. You've got to be safe, and you've got to keep everyone else safe.
And for everybody else as well. Yeah.
But if you have to do anything like this, really don't worry, because I'm sure you'll find the same as us. They're very, very helpful and put you at ease very quickly. So that's it from us for today.
Indeed, yes. Hope you enjoyed that.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Will do. Bye.
Bye for now.